Resiliency is the answer to the test. Once adversity strikes, it provides you with the necessary fabric and fiber to endure during your most challenging of times when your blood is either thin or thick. No one knows that better than my friend Calvin Tedesco. He's a 28-year-old personal trainer who has been noted and voted one of the best at his craft in his field. And his personal story leaves quite the impression on all the people that have a chance to encounter it. He originated from an adverse circumstance where he grew up around drugs, crime, and addiction. He says, as a youth, he felt completely hopeless, with nowhere to turn. He was admitted to juvenile detention at the tender age of 15 for violent crimes, but it was during his stint in juvie that his life turned around and he fell in love with the prospect of physical fitness and taking care of your body. It was during that time of his life where he fell in love with the prospect of working out and taking personal and physical accountability for his actions from a physical, mental, and personal perspective. His life has taken a 360-degree turn for the better. He has a degree in Kinesiology, and he's also a speaker and someone who knows how to get the most out of people and helping them to use their personal health and wellness as a motivator to make sure that they maximize the potential in their lives. If you spend more than 5 minutes with Tedesco, you'll quickly find out that he's all about a high spirit, energy, enthusiasm, and vigor for helping people get out of the doldrums of despair and helping them to achieve the greatest version of themselves from a physical, mental, and psychological standpoint. I know that I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Calvin, which you will as well. So, without further delay, I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation. Calvin, if you're ready, I'll take a moment to welcome you to the program, and I'm super excited to learn all about your life story of grit, perseverance, and determination. Great to see you this afternoon, and thank you so very much for being here, my friend.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Now, my friend, I know that you've had sort of a winding road of a life of both obstacles, overcoming adversity, and finding your voice through determination, my friend. So, my first question to you this afternoon, so if you had to describe your life in a 60-second commercial, my friend, all about determination and grit, I'm wondering how that commercial would go and how your life would be depicted, my friend.
Well, I started out just a young, shy kid, lonely, shy kid. Nothing too special. I came from a good home. And over time, I watched things start to fall apart around me. And that's what pulled the determination and grit out of me, really. My brother died when I was 11. People around me were grieving in negative ways and a downward spiral all going on around me. And over time, I started to go down that same path, and I started to get into drugs and alcohol, violence, and I felt so hopeless in my life. And eventually that led me to going to jail for some violent crimes when I was a youth. And that's really where the story begins in a positive direction, because I learned how to work out, which was really the only positive thing that I knew. So all that time, I didn't know about a positive outlook or something that could move my life in a positive trajectory. And that carried me on through everything. I put everything I had into that. I started going to school for it, fitness related schools, and ended up getting a degree in kinesiology, becoming a full-time coach.
Well, absolutely, my friend. And tell me, when you think of the word perseverance and resilience, my friend, how do you think those two things are interconnected, and how do those apply to your own personal life?
Well, perseverance and resilience, I think, are necessary to make it through any adversities. Without it, we're just going to be stuck in the same place. And I see it all the time with the clients I work with. Every time, if someone wants to, let's say they're just trying to get in shape, for example, or move their life in a positive trajectory, like I did with mine, there's going to be setbacks that come up along the way. It's inevitable. And without perseverance and resiliency, they're going to quit at the first sign of difficulty. But if they can persevere and be resilient, and that's what gets them to the next step, and that's what gets them the results that they want and helps them achieve the goals that they want. It's like a prerequisite.
Yeah, absolutely. And based on the work that you do in your own personal life, Calvin, I'm curious to ask you how you view the prism of both tenacity and hustle, my friend. What do those two words mean to you?
I love that question. I think tenacity and hustle is something amazing that we all have access to. It's really something that makes us all equal, no matter what circumstances we're in life. We all have access to tenacity and hustle. And I think that's what got me through all those difficult times. So when I was finding myself mixed up in these negative lifestyles, spending time on the street as a youth, being around drugs and alcohol, violence, if I didn't have that hustle and that drive to do something drastic, do something different to change my circumstances, I would have been stuck in that same situation. And if I didn't have that same hustle, when I had the opportunity to go to school, work out, learn, and grow as a person, it would never have carried me through, especially every single time I had to make that decision. Am I going to keep going? Because it's been like over a decade I've been on this path of personal development. I went to jail when I was 15 years old, and I'm 28 now. Without that hustle, I wouldn't have been able to get through those classes in college when times were hard, or transfer and go to university, finish my degree, and go ahead and open my own business. There's none of my family lives here with me. I've been by myself for a good 10 years at least.
Tedesco says that the educators he had in his life played a major factor in his life turnaround and changing his perspective on how he viewed the world.
Actually, I was lucky. Similar to how you said, the people around you went the extra mile to help you. And of course, it's you putting in the work, but it's a blessing to have people like that in your corner. And so for me, I don't know how it happened. It was kind of miraculous, but I had always had this knowing that I didn't want to live like this forever. And when I had the opportunity to do something positive, I put everything I had into it. Everything I had, because working out, fitness was the only positive thing that I knew at the time. And slowly that opened up doors. And because I was putting so much energy into it and working so hard at it, and then getting good grades and other positive stuff that I could do, these teachers would open up another door for me. They would say, hey, you would do good in this program. And they helped me be able to, like, all my caseworkers and teachers, they helped me be able to move to another city as a youth and go to schools that were focused on fitness. And that's what led me to the career I'm in today. It completely changed my life.
Yeah, absolutely. We value teachers, don't we, buddy?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's like, just as a person making that decision to go the extra mile, because as a teacher, they didn't have to do that. But because they were special people, they did.
Yeah, absolutely. And my friend, one thing you'll learn about me throughout the course of the time that you're gonna chance to know me, buddy, is that I have limited time for making artificial excuses because I look at excuses as artificial deterrents to progress, my friend. So tell me about eliminating excuses and how that can positively affect the mindset that you take into life, my friend.
Man, I think I started to learn about that stuff by reading some of those personal development books, and they started to explain that the responsibility is on us. And so I started to look at excuses like, well, I really have a choice now. You know what I mean? They're not really valid.
Yeah, absolutely. And to that point, Kelvin, I'm also curious to get your thoughts on how the prism of sort of mental health and personal growth are interconnected. How do you think those two things share a shareable link, my friend?
I think it could be a downward or upward spiral depending on which way you go with it. When someone's mental health is on the decline, maybe they don't want to invest in their personal growth, and that just makes their mental health worse. But if someone decides to take the pain they're experiencing and direct it into something related to personal growth, it starts to move their life in a positive trajectory, positive way. And when they do that, they start to feel better mentally, and it's an upward spiral. And I think a lot of people don't know about that, just like I didn't know that you could do that. So exercise for me was one way to make me feel better and mentally, and led me to do more things that related to personal growth. And I literally would get into anything I could to try to experience that in another way. So if it was exercise, if it was nutrition, if it was discipline on my lifestyle, going to bed early, waking up early, taking extra courses, reading more books. I mean, this stuff creates an upward spiral in our life.
Yeah, absolutely, my friend. And I know one of the ways to do that, buddy, is through the formulation and sort of forming your own sense of community through the fitness communities that you run. And I know that building social capital and giving people a sense of community is important to you. So I'm wondering if you can tell me about it.
Oh man, I've been so blessed to be a part of some amazing communities. And the one I'm most excited about now is the one we've been able to start up in our city here, and even online with the people that we impact online with our coaching programs. But right now I teach a group of women in the morning, men and women now, at 5 o'clock in the morning, every single day. We got clients in here lifting weights, sharing a positive message, getting ready for the work day. And we keep in touch online and in person. So it's been a community event, because not everybody can stick to an early morning regimen like that every day at 5 o'clock. But these people that we're working with now are disciplined, they're motivated, they're dedicated, and they want to help each other. And I think that's the most powerful thing we could experience. It's one thing to do it by yourself, but as you know, it's rare to find someone else that's on a similar path or that's that dedicated. But now we have, like, imagine having like a dozen people like that, or dozens.
Yeah, there's nothing like authentic human connection, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, my friend. Now tell me, what does it mean to you to level up in life? What and be present in life? So, what does it mean to you to level up, my friend?
Leveling up, I think it has a lot to do with what you said about excuses. I think the next level in our life is when we break down that excuse, or saying, I don't have time for this, or I don't have the energy for that. And really just realizing that, no, it's all within our power. Our time is within our power. Our energy is within our power. And the more responsibility we can take in our life like that, the further we go. And I think that's what leveling up is.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, one of the reasons that I wanted to talk to you this afternoon, buddy, was I respect so greatly your ability to sort of be a positive male role model for other young men that need the influence. So I want to commend you there, my friend. So what do you think it means to be a positive male role model, and how important do you think it is in sort of moving the needle of progress forward within society today? Because I think it's vitally important. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. I think role models are needed today because there's nothing we can really say, especially to the youth, that's going to help them. We have to show them. The demonstration is everything. And so, how we live our life, we might not realize how it's affecting other people, but it's affecting other people. A good example is, how many times have we been negatively or positively impacted by someone and we never had the chance to tell them? And so it goes that we are impacting other people that, and we don't even realize how we're impacted. And I think a good example of this is like, if everybody if everybody in the world was to live life the way we did today, what would the world look like if everybody did exactly what we did today?
Yeah,
And so
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think that's the best example. And so if we're gonna demonstrate that it's okay to cope by using drugs and alcohol or acting out violently, or you know how would it be like if everybody did that? But if our go-to coping mechanism was, I'm going to eat healthier, I'm going to work out harder, I'm going to try to help somebody else today no matter how I'm feeling, I think the world would be a much better place.
Yeah, absolutely. And based on the success you've had, my friend, as a business owner, I'm also curious to tap into your brain on how you think people can build a respectable reputation in business. How do you think we can cultivate and sustain positivity in business at the same time?
Man, I think it's all about showing up consistently. The way I've been able to build my reputation in my community is by showing up every day consistently. And I think the way that we live our life affects how we show up. So if I'm not living in accordance with all of the stuff I'm preaching every single day, whether it's behind closed doors or out in public, then I'm not going to be showing up effectively. My reputation depends on how I live my life. And that relationship depends on if I can show up for my people. I'm not going to be able to show up for my people effectively if I haven't been living my life in a positive way.
Yeah, absolutely, my friend. And I don't have to tell you, Calvin, that business is all about connecting with people from an authentic perspective. So tell me about the prospect of building relationships and how you go about cultivating and sort of fertilizing great relationships within the fitness industry in particular, because it's all about people, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, I like the way that Stephen Covey puts it in the Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, he says, think efficiency with tasks, think effectiveness with people. So we're not dead set on a specific outcome or whatever from the relationship. We're trying to make deposits of goodwill, either by listening or providing some value, or, like I said previously, living our life in a positive way. All of these things can make deposits into other people's lives or their emotional bank account, as Stephen Covey also puts it in that book. And I think that's what building relationships is all about, showing up, making those deposits, and being a source of light for people.
Yeah, absolutely. And Calvin, I now want to talk to you about non-negotiables in life, and this really gets me excited in terms of holding people accountable. So tell me, when you work with people, Calvin, when it comes to the non-negotiable piece of holding the people you work with accountable, how do you look at non-negotiables and accountability? How are those interconnected for you?
Oh man, well, the non-negotiable, just it has to be non-negotiable that you're going to show up and do your best, and that's all we can really do. And accountability is valuable, but it's most valuable when it's within ourselves, within our own thoughts, and then also with our community as well. But I think the non-negotiable has to be that I'm going to show up and do my best every day. Or if I say I'm going to do it, then I'm going to do it. My word is something that's important. And I think once people start to take that stuff seriously, that's when they start to notice the biggest results in their life, their fitness. I see it all the time. I think one of the best examples I have right now is with Amy, this one lady I've been working with. Like, she was struggling to get up early in the mornings and get to the 5 a.m. workouts. And she had to reach a point where she was just brutally honest with herself and realized that the only person that can really do this is her. And she went on a rampage, like 27 straight days working out. Like, she's been working out every single day, hasn't missed a morning in 27 days. And we're going to go for 50 straight. But I just thought that was one of the most powerful things to watch someone's mental shift, because that's what it was. Like, she reached a point where it just looked like she wasn't thinking about quitting. She was thinking about, how do I persevere? What do I have to do to make this happen?
Yeah, absolutely. And, Calvin, I'm a strong believer in identifying what it is that is your identifying fabric or sort of niche in life. So when we talk about your personal life, my friend, what do you define as your fabric or motto in life? What gets you excited to get out of bed in the morning?
Man, I don't know. That's a tough one for me. I've tried to ask myself this question a lot. Like, what's my why? What's my reason and purpose behind it? Because I know that I love living this positive lifestyle and I love sharing it with others. But why? I really think it's just that's my purpose in life. I think I was given a second chance in life just to do this. I feel like this is my life purpose. And I learned that in juvenile detention when I figured out this is the one positive thing. This is where I got to put all my attention. And that's my reason for living. I think if I didn't have that, then I wouldn't want to have a life. Like, I wouldn't see a point in it. That's pretty much where I was at before I learned this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Kelvin, one of the mottos that I live my life by, my friend, is that I believe that we're all given a deck of cards in life, and it's incumbent upon all of us to sort of point our compass or a deck of cards in the direction that we want to go in life, my friend. Because adversity and overcoming obstacles will strike all of us. We're never immune from adversity, no matter how much money we make or how famous we are, my friend. So tell me about, stacking the deck of cards in your favor and really pointing your life compass in the direction that you wanted to go. Because I think that we're all given a chance to sort of point our compass in the direction that we want to go. But it's also a personal choice of accountability, isn't it?
Oh, totally. Everybody has the ability to do it, but it's almost like they don't know or something. And I think the best thing for stacking the odds in someone's favor is like, imagine one person just goes through life kind of gone with the wind. Another person sits down and says, what's my most important goal? What's the most important thing to me? And then makes plans to achieve it. So they develop clarity on their goal, their mission, their purpose. And then they start making plans to achieve it. Okay, what do I got to do? What courses do I have to take? What's my daily actions every day? What do I have to be consistent on every single day to move in that direction? And they hold themselves accountable because they know what they wrote down in that notebook. They maybe signed a contract with themselves or something like that. They review that every day, and it keeps them focused on that path.
Yeah, absolutely. And my friend, I introduced this podcast by saying that resiliency is sort of the test to adversity, my friend, because like I told you, believe that we have an innate purpose on earth. And, one thing about living life, and the greatest thing about life to me, Kelvin, is not when it ends. The tragedy of life for me is refusing to live while I can still have air to breathe, my friend. So, under that context, how are you maximizing the sense of resiliency and opportunity that you have to impact the world each and every day, my friend?
Oh, yeah. I love that question because imagine if I just didn't take the risks to go in this direction, because it really involved me as a youth moving hundreds of miles away from home. So I had to move away from my family, move away from my friends, everybody I know, to pursue this path. I could have went home. I was getting released from jail. I was in juvenile detention. I did a year and a half. I spent a year and a half of my life in juvenile detention. I was ready to go home, but I took the risk to move away and pursue this path. It was once in a lifetime opportunity. That's the way it looked like for me. And so could you imagine if I had went the other way? Like that, how disrespectful that would be just to my overall capability and what's possible in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And my friend, I think personal fitness and health is a choice that we all have to make a commitment to our health if we want to live a sustainable life. But I also want to get your thoughts on why personal health is so important to our overall mental health and really maximizing our potential in life. What would you say there, my friend?
Oh man, it's all connected. Even physical exercise impacts our brain chemistry in a positive way. Same with a lot of other things like getting sunlight or socializing or different things like that, which helps create that upward spiral that we were talking about earlier. So the physical and mental health have a very strong connection.
Yeah, absolutely. And, getting ready to talk to you today, Kelvin, I did a deep dive in your Instagram account, my friend. And one of the videos that stuck out to me was that we all have a free gym membership, both in life and in our health and fitness story, my friend. So tell me the importance of really making health and fitness a priority, because I'll give you an example, my friend. So one of the greatest things that I love to do is walking and lifting weights, because it helps with my muscle endurance, and it helps with my ability to have energy and enthusiasm. So tell me about sort of your own free gym membership, because it can apply to both fitness and in life, can't it?
Oh yeah. Well, the free gym membership in my eyes is like, hey, why are we using these as barriers or excuses that we don't have enough money to work out or we don't have the right tools that we need? It's like everybody could go outside and use that sidewalk. Everybody can do calisthenics with they can lift weights just using their body weight in a lot of instances. Everybody has access to these things. Like we could just start walking, or we could go to a park and do push-ups or squats at a park or something like that. And it's just, the thing is, we're not using the opportunities that are right in front of us. We keep thinking that there's something external that's going to give us the solution. Oh, I can't work out because I don't have a gym membership, or something along those lines. And so my message is that, we all have a free gym membership. It's right here. Even with our own body in the house, we could be working out. And so it's all about taking advantage of the opportunities that are right here with us. We have everything we need already.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Calvin, one of the ways that I keep myself personally accountable, my friend, is I challenge myself each and every day to at least be 10 minutes active each and every day, whether it's lifting weights when I get out of the shower and get dressed, or whether I walk to the park or walk laps around local parks in my area. So I'm curious to ask you, if anyone watching or listening to this is inspired to make fitness a priority, I'm curious if you can give them 3 to 5 simple steps they can follow on a consistent basis to really level up their health and quality of life. What would you say there, my friend?
Well, the most important thing is to make it a habit. So it has to be something that's every day. So what are the top 3 to 5 things that we could do every day to make us healthier, more fit? And let's just say it's someone that has, just for conversation's sake, let's say it's someone that has no workout experience or doesn't have a lot of education or support with it. Everybody knows how to walk. They could start their morning every morning with a 30 to 60-minute walk. And that could potentially be life-changing, because that's time to think and reflect as well. So even though we're moving our body, maybe that's helping us burn some calories or burn some body fat. I mean, no matter how fit or unfit somebody is, they could benefit from that morning walk just because the clarity that it provides. So that alone might provide more solutions for anything that we're going through, be it fitness or otherwise. And then the next important thing is proper nutrition. And again, even with someone not knowing much about nutrition, they would know, hey, I got to eat a balanced diet. I got to eat a serving of protein, a serving of carbohydrates, some kind of vegetables. And that stuff can be very simple and very straightforward. And I think it should be very straightforward. A serving of protein with every meal, a variety of different foods, different vegetables, to get a variety of different nutrients in our diet every single day. And the third thing I would say is very important is to mind our sleep. We got to make sure we go to sleep. And I think sleep is like, if the benefits of sleep were in a vitamin, everybody would be taking it. Same with exercise. And so everybody would want to buy these supplements, but they don't want to do the very basic things that are right in front of them. So if we have a good bedtime routine and we get up out of bed early so we can do that workout routine, I mean, that's everything. And then get enough water. A lot of people overlook just drinking water. They're going to go buy all the vitamins and supplements to get in shape and burn fat, but they're going to neglect drinking 2 or 3 liters of water a day, which could completely change their life. Their skin, their body can detoxify, and it helps improve performance with workouts. So there's so many benefits to just those things. Those are the basics. And then once someone's ready for it, they get into some strength training and like full body strength training routines. And just those 5 things alone, that could change their life.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, Kevin, drinking lots of water is the key to having a great podcast, my friend. So I can continue to talk, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And Kelvin, you may not know this, but July is actually National Disability Pride Month, my friend. So why do you think it's important that we celebrate disability and make it a point to elevate inclusion and acceptance for folks with disabilities like myself?
Man, I didn't know that. I didn't even know about that this was Disability Pride Month. Dude, I think it's amazing, because I've seen people with disabilities do amazing things. I mean, even back in college, I was working with people that I worked with a young man that had cerebral palsy, helping him lift weights in the gym. And that was a cool experience just to be able to have him in there. And we're all in there together working out. And same here in Chilliwack, where I live here in BC. I mean, I got a lady here that comes to the gym 2 or 3 times a week. She's doing pull-ups. She's doing lifting weights and all of this stuff. And she's one of the strongest girls in there. And I think we should be celebrating that and honoring that because it's inspiring and it's, everybody's capable.
Yeah, absolutely, my friend. And tell me, how do you think having a consistent workout routine and valuing our health can really affect the other areas and aspects of our lives in a positive perspective?
I think one of the most important things is confidence and self-esteem. And so working out every day, it makes you look better, feel better, makes you stronger and stuff like that. But it also builds your confidence and self-esteem in such a way because you can follow through on something that you said you were going to do. So if you are sticking to your workout routine, no matter what the weather is, no matter what day of the week it is, no matter if it's a holiday, I mean, that's a tremendous amount of confidence and self-esteem because you know that you can pick something that's important and stick to it for a length of time. And it shows in everybody that does it. It shows. It's like it radiates often when they walk in a room. There's something different about that person. And that's why they put together certain challenges like the 75 hard challenge or body transformation challenges, because they've recognized there's a huge link between these things.
Yeah, absolutely. And my friend, I'm curious if you could go back and deliver a message to your 15-year-old self or deliver a message today to a similar youth in a similar situation that you found yourself in at 15, what would be your message to your 15-year-old self or that youth who may be looking for direction in life?
Man, I would want them to know that success in life is probably not what a lot of these people around you are demonstrating. And in a lot of cases, when it comes to youth, we can't really tell them anything. We have to show them. But I would want to show them a lifestyle that when times get hard, you don't pick up the drink and you don't start doing drugs and you don't take it out on other people. I would want to show them that when times get hard, you double down on what works, improve your life in all aspects, become a stronger individual, and that your responsibility isn't just for you, it's also for helping other people. So you need to build yourself up 10 times more because you need to help this person, this person, this person. You have a very important purpose in this life, whether you can realize it or not. I'd want that youth to understand that at the earliest age possible so they can start working on that, because the sooner we get that personal responsibility and accountability, the better. I mean, there's no reason we couldn't have started working on these things earlier. I wasn't able to figure it out till I went to juvenile detention. And I think people should have been able to figure that out sooner. I didn't have the support that I needed when I needed it. My brother died when I was 11 years old. And I think that might have impacted me in a negative way because he would have steered me away from that stuff for sure. He didn't agree with that kind of stuff. So, I mean, damn, I really wish that this stuff was more normalized. But unfortunately, even like parents don't see their role in life as significant as they should. Like their example doesn't seem that significant to them. Like it's okay to drink in front of the kids, or it's okay to get high or stuff like that. Oh, it's just drinking. It's not a big deal, they think. But it might not be a big deal to them, but it's a big deal when the kids have problems with it. They're not thinking that far ahead. They're thinking, oh, okay, it's normalized that I do this. I don't have a problem with it, but they're not thinking about somebody else having a problem with it or somebody else having a problem with lashing out in anger and like breaking stuff around the house. That could cause an issue with the kids long term. Instead of trying to show them more appropriate ways to deal with this stuff. Hey, we're feeling angry. Let's go for a walk. Or, we're grieving the loss of someone close to us. I mean, let's talk about that. What are some things we could do instead? I mean, that's why I'm stopping drinking. Like, imagine if you did that. Imagine if you could teach a youth, like, yeah, we're grieving the loss of someone close to us. So we're going to get rid of all this negative stuff around us because we have to honor their life in a positive way. So we have to get rid of all the drinking and get rid of all the drugs and get rid of all the negativity, because that's how we're going to honor them. That's how we're going to grieve effectively. If someone had taught me that, I mean, that would have saved me years and years of time.
Well, that only reinforces the need for more positive mentors, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And my friend, as we wind down our conversation today, I'm curious to ask you about your perspective on how success and self improvement are interconnected, because I think they share a linkage between the two. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah. Well, I used to think self-improvement just meant like reading it in books, but I think really what self-improvement is how we live our life on a day-to-day basis. And our level of personal development determines our level of success. So if we can adhere to something, any plan for any length of time, we can achieve anything. We just have to know we're only limited by whatever we need to know. So, but we have access to whatever courses we need or whatever people we need, especially today. But we have to learn how to use that stuff appropriately. And our level of personal development means, can you wake up every single day and do this, no matter how you feel? I mean, that's more about what personal development means to me today.
Yeah, absolutely. And, my friend, my final question for you is a combination of how I end all of my podcasts. And the reason I have this grit image behind me is because I was inspired by your story, because you seem to be someone that wants to help other people level up their purpose in life. So tell me, when we think about grit and perseverance and your own personal and professional legacy, how do you want that to be defined?
Can you say that last part again?
Yeah, I just want to know how you want your legacy from a personal and professional standpoint to be defined.
Oh yeah, how to be defined? I would say, man, I'm not really too worried about having like a massive legacy. The most important thing I want is to be like one of those stories that someone could refer to that helps move their life in a positive direction. Because for me, I needed dozens of stories, dozens of people in my life in order to actually help me. And so my hope and my legacy is just to be one of those people, part of the solution.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one follow up to that, my friend, is this is something that I have thought a lot about myself, my friend. So, if you had to describe your life in one sentence when it's over, what do you think you would want that sentence to read about the life the life that you led, and how you want people to remember you by? So what would that sentence be for you?
Oh man, one sentence people could remember me by. Oh, that's a tough question. I would want them to remember just an inspiring story of overcoming life's hardships.
Yeah, and to that point, what to this point in your life, my friend, would you define as your a defining moment of difference?
I think the big defining moment for me is making the decision to put everything I have into something positive. And I think that was the most massive difference. I could have stayed on that. I could have stayed at home, or I could have stayed in that other city and never took the risk, never took the leap. I think that was the biggest turning point, was just that I'm willing to take the leap. I'm willing to just go for it, not knowing if I'm going to succeed or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And I promise this is my last question. So, since you brought it up, what do you think it means to take a leap of faith in life?
Oh man, taking a leap of faith. I think that's everything in life. I think that's everything in life. I mean, what would be the purpose of just trying to, play it safe? If we have nothing to lose, gotta take the leap of faith. Gotta go for it, especially if the potential upside is all this great things for you and people around you, and the potential downside is, well, you're just gonna be in the same situation you were before. So you have to take it. You have to go for it. But the thing is, though, it involves a level of overcoming fear, because maybe there's some risk involved. You feel scared you could get hurt, or you could, I don't know, it could hurt you in some way. Who knows? I mean, the fear of failure holds a lot of people back. And I think it gets worse the further we go in life. Maybe you have more to lose the further you go. So I think the sooner you could take the leap, the better.
Yeah, absolutely, my friend. And tell me, my friend, if people want to get connected with the great work that you do. I know you're active on Instagram, and I'm assuming that's a popular platform for you. But what's the best way that people can get connected with you, my friend?
The best way to connect with me would be on my Instagram at Calvin Tedesco, or on my website, calvintedesco.ca. Those would probably be the two best options.
Fantastic, my friend. Well, I have to tell you, I was inspired to engage in conversation with you, my friend. I want to thank you for the good work that you do to help people level up their personal and physical fitness, my friend. You're a true inspiration, my friend, and it was a real honor to engage in conversation with you. So I want to thank you for the good work that you do and for joining me to engage in conversation. It's most appreciated.
Oh, hey, likewise. It was great connecting with you.